YNW Melly ignored his lawyer's advice to be freed early, instead announcing his new release date during his court appearance. According to reporters, today's hearing marks the first time YNW Melly publicly went against his legal team's advice. In open court, as Melly was seen yelling at his lawyers.
Yes, sir.
Against our advice, our client wants to proceed.
You objected to their request for me to determine this automatic stay.
Based upon what our client has instructed us.
Given that his affiliation with a gang is linked to the evidence they are contesting. Melly was yelling at his lawyers, claiming he didn't care. Melly was heard in court saying, "I don't care. I'm not in any gang." However, they are unable to provide proof.
924-071. Call for an automatic stay while
they were aggravators. They go to membership in a gang. There are things that the jury would have to find before going into penalty.
Not aggravator, that's the death penalty. Aggravator, that's the gang enhancement itself, Your Honor. That was charged. He was charged in committing the murder for the further of the gang, which is an aggravator in terms of the guilt.
something that they would have to find by way of an interrogatory.
Yes.
Melly doesn't care if the evidence is included or not, because the accompanying paperwork suggests that if his lawyers are successful in having it excluded, the trial will have to begin in 2027. In other words, YNW Melly will have spent 7 to 9 years behind bars before being found guilty of the crime.
We find this case to be under the most compelling circumstances. Mr. Devins, as I sit here today, has been in custody for 2,339 days. Besides Mr. Devins' cases, which I've removed, this division currently has 38 other cases, special set for trial. 22 of those are murder cases. Numerous of those are death cases. And right now, this division has trial special set in December of 2020.
However, the state wants to reschedule this trial so that they can use all of the evidence against Melly. YNW Melly is also expected to be sentenced to life in prison at the second trial.
And finally, Judge, just so, again, the record's clear, given Judge Murphy's order, and there would be an intent to comply with it, what the court is compelling the state to do is to go forward with evidence that has been suppressed. In other words, we would not be able to use that evidence.
You can't.
Right.
It's suppressed. That's exactly correct.
As of now, the attorneys could go to the appellant court and request that they issue a stay or place a hold on the trial, and that seems to be the only way that this trial does not move forward on the scheduled date. So if that doesn't happen, Melly trial number 2 will begin in about 2 months.
This would pique the interest of YNW Melly's mother, who would then decide when the trial would go live on Instagram.
Basically what happened today is the judge has said we are not delaying trial. We will be going to trial September 10th, even though there's things that's up with the 4th DCA that has been ruled to be suppressed and not able to be used in the upcoming trial. The judge is upholding those orders. So therefore, all of the, basically what was up on appeal was all of that stuff, what they were using as an enhancer in order to get the death penalty qualified. The judge ordered all of that to be suppressed. So moving forward onto the new trial, the state will not be able to bring in that evidence.
Following the hearing, YNW Melly's lawyers will request a bond release until the September trial. WW Melly would not be permitted. The media commented on YNW Melly's reaction to not receiving a bond in the Double M case. He has been imprisoned for 2,320 days, despite not having been found guilty. YNW Melly's refusal can only be explained in terms of the prosecutor's insurance policy. Please let me clarify. A comprehensive evidence file was established to ensure Melly's continued incarceration until the trial began, presenting the most damaging evidence against Melly to the judge. Prosecutors have made public the most recent evidence against YNW. Melly Juvie had arrived only 5 hours after the murder and was unaware that he had been caught on video confessing to Sackchaser's death. YNW Melly and YNW Bortland were videotaped, dancing in a parking lot.
Melly still turned regardless of what happened this early morning. He's still out here being very positive. Turned still. Hey! Your dog still turned, regardless of what happened. You already know.
Expressing no remorse for losing their two best friends. But he had no idea he was being filmed again. Melly was seen exiting the studio and prepared to get into the Jeep, with bag chaser Juvie Bortland in the back left seat. 30 minutes before the crime.
Excuse me, you're able to see? Yes, all right.
The direction of bullets traveling from left to right in the car supports the claim that they originated from the back left seat, where YNW Melly was positioned, according to official court documents. This is significant since the prosecutors convinced YNW, Juvie's mother, that he was present.
Can you state your name, your full legal name for the jury?
Leon Phillips.
Okay. And are you related to one of the victims in this case?
Yes, I am.
How so?
I'm his mother.
And who is that?
Christopher Thomas.
Ms. Phillips, did you see who entered into the occupants who entered into that gray Jeep?
Yes.
Do you recognize where your son entered that gray Jeep?
Yes.
Which seat, if you can identify for the jury?
He got in the back seat on the right hand side.
Did you recognize the individual that got into the back seat on the left side, the rear driver's side?
Yes.
And who was that individual?
Janelle.
The direction of bullets traveling from left to right in the car supports the claim that they originated from the back left seat, where YNW Melly was positioned according to official court documents. This is significant since the prosecutors convinced YNW Juvie's mother that he was present.
Mariah Hamilton is spending her first day at the Broward County Jail. She has no arrest record until now. U.S. Border Patrol agents arrested her at Miami International Airport Monday after she arrived on an international flight. Court records show Hamilton was ordered to testify in Demon's first trial in 2023.
She was having a lot of trouble in court. So when she first arrived, she quickly reached a deal with the judge. He said, "If you agree to testify against Melly and tell the truth of what really happened to Sack Chaser and Juvie, then you're free to go." YNW Melly accepted the news immediately, despite the fact that it was the worst she could have heard. She would send a Facebook message to my community as soon as she got outside, saying, "Thank you to my village. You all have my eternal affection. It is His design, not God's." This is noteworthy since Mariah was forced to withdraw from testifying at the first trial due to disturbing material regarding Melly uncovered in her iCloud account. The word used to describe this is witness tampering. Furthermore, Melly will face a life sentence if she discloses this information.
State filing 6 new charges against Demons and 2 others who were allegedly involved. The charges include tampering with a witness, directing the activities of a criminal, solicitation or conspiracy to commit tampering, and unlawful use of a two-way communication device. Now, a couple of those charges actually carry a life in prison sentence if there's a conviction.
The fact that the witness tampering accusation will be separate from the 2 million counts he is already facing is the most troubling one. This suggests that YNW Melly would face a life sentence in prison, even if he was found not guilty of Sadasor and Juvie's deaths, but guilty of witness tampering. Even more troubling is the fact that YNW Melly has been forbidden from using a jail phone by federal officials for several months. Jamie King, his mother, went on to question the county jail for refusing to give him a phone because of how bad things were.
My son has not been convicted of anything, and even other inmates that have been convicted or anything, they have the right to use a telephone. They have a right to just to be allowed to write letters to their loved ones, to receive their mail. They hold his mail, they don't give it to him.
This conclusion would provide federal authorities with evidence that YNW Melly was manipulating witnesses using the jail phone. They wouldn't just prohibit him from using the phones if there was suspicion, as that could result in a multi-million-dollar lawsuit. immediately following. And, on top of that, YW, the worst aspect is about to happen. Portland will harm YW. Melly, you were unaware that Melly's attorney tried to use this against Portland on the first day of the trial.
Those were his lines. Cortland Henry shows up at Memorial Hospital, Miramar. And you don't see him sitting there, but where you will see him sitting is in the driver's seat of a car with two bodies, car riddled with bullets. And when he shows up with a change of clothing, change of shirt, powder residue on his hands, evidencing that he had discharged a firearm. And he lies. He lies about where the incident occurred. He lies about how it occurred. And he lies about not having a phone. I think it was Miss Bradley herself who said, everybody has a phone in his pocket, not Cortland Henry.
YW. Melly's attorney informed the judge and the federal authorities that YW Portland was often fooling them. His hands were smeared with powder residue. He also happened to be the last one. They died alongside Juvian Sakaiza. A forensic scientist was also summoned to investigate the massings and provide additional information on the powder residue located on Portland's hands.
So the right hand of Cortland Henry contained 0 particles characteristic of powder residue and two component particles. And the left hand contained 1 particle characteristic of powder residue and 1 two-component particle.
Okay. And can you explain to us what that means?
Basically, overall, there was powder residue present on the hands.
This explains why YNW Portland hasn't posted anything on social media in almost a year. YNW Portland was accused of making an incomprehensible tweet on the day Melly's mistrial was awarded. As mentioned in the tweet, "Mind games do not work for me," along with a handshake emoji, as if he's signing a YNW Portland agreement. Since the prosecutors filed papers to have Portland and Melly tried together, that is, to sit next to each other during the trial, it is possible that he consented to be prosecuted alongside YNW Melly for just one reason.
Issue here, and you can try them together. It is to the benefit of the state to try them together. Just more efficient. You don't have to do things again and again. Do it all at once, and also you get a better chance of having them incriminate each other during the trial. It benefits the defense to sever it. That way they can point the finger at each other and get away with it. So this is what's going on. But I don't think it should be automatically severed because the state is seeking a penalty for Melly, because it's only the penalty phase of the trial that would be different, not the guilt phase. The guilt phase is the same. They're both capital crimes. You're seeking the penalty on one, not the other, but that goes into the second part of the trial, the penalty phase, only if Melly is found guilty.
It is obvious that YNW Portland cannot physically sit there and endure life in prison if he knows he did not commit the crime. The reality implies that he will probably come clean and accuse YNW Melly. However, if you want Melly released from prison, please like the video and leave a comment below with your thoughts on whether he is guilty.